In this how-to video, I will demonstrate how to maintain your electronic runbooks. On a daily basis, it is important to maintain your runbooks to ensure that it shows accurate information to your drivers and that the runbook looks the way that it needs to look to the driver. To begin with, just to reiterate, the round runbook button here will always head to the runbook for the day which is selected in your trade day here on the main menu. So depending on what day you select here is the day that the round runbook button will head to once you click on it. So in this situation, it's set to Tuesday. So once I click on round runbook, it will end up in the Tuesday runbook. And it is currently set to the St. Michel round group. Obviously, I can select this and change to a different round group if I need to. And the things that you need to check for on a daily basis is to make sure that there are no new accounts at the top. New accounts will always appear at the top of this list, and you can usually tell because they do not have a sequence number. It is important to take those accounts and sequence them into position. For example, if I had number 10 marketing close, I would come down here and I notice that it would have to sit between 73 and 77 as a sequence. Therefore, I would go to the record at the top of the list that does not have a sequence number, and I would enter 75. Once I click on the orange background, that house will then slot down into that location. If you run out of sequence numbers, you can respace your sequence numbers using the runbook alignment. It is important you do not use this function if you have unsequenced customer accounts. It is vitally important that you sequence all customers first and then use the runbook alignment if you need to. It is found under Select, Runbook Alignment. Once you select that option, it will respace your sequence numbers for that day for that round group. So that function needs to be used for each round group independently and for each day independently, as it only affects the customer list that you're currently looking at. Secondly, you want to just double check, make sure you don't have any duplicates of street names, possibly due to street abbreviations spelled incorrectly, making sure all your street name and abbreviations where they follow sequentially are identical. To update your runbook street names, which is another task you need to do once all your customers are sequenced, simply go up to Select, Update Street Names, and your system will run through and update the grey column with the street names. This is the street names as they will appear in the runbook. Then you want to just add any street notes and address notes as you may need, and just double check that your directional records are as they should be. So on a daily basis, it would be you would start at your first group. You would check to see if there's any sequencing that needs doing. You then update your street names. You then look across, make sure that everything in the runbook looks all right, which we're happy with. Then we go to the next group and we do the same process again. Check the sequence numbers, make sure any new customers are sequenced in, update the street names, just double check through the other columns and your directional records, and then you progress on, and you do this for all the round groups that you have in your system. Once you have completed this task, you can head back to the residential main menu, upon which you can head into driver consignment. This is the new part where which we've set up for you to export your runbooks. What you can do here is you can click on the select menu and select new, which will in turn add a new driver. The name that you enter for the driver name is the same name that will be used for the file name once you export the runbook. So it will be nick.pdf or mike.pdf. In this section here, you'll select the round groups in the order that the driver will be delivering them in. So in this example here, you can see that Nick will start in Port Kennedy, and then you'll move on to St. Michel, the Avenue, Parklands, Warnbro West, Warnbro East, Grand Ocean. All these round groups will be exported in these in this group order into a single runbook for that driver labeled nick.pdf, and the order within each of the round groups is that based on your round sequence as you set it up over in the maintenance screen. You are welcome to use the driver consignment part of the system, which is completely optional, where you can specify your publication groups. You can specify the bulk sizes and the total supply. And then once you click the assign button on each driver's name, it will assign those round groups together to produce the totals for that driver. So that driver will require 320 West Australians, 7 Australians, 1 financial review, 1 Kalgoorlie miner to complete his deliveries in these areas. Lastly, the runbook export itself is done here. You've got 3 buttons. There's 3 completely different styles of runbooks to pick from, and you're more than welcome to use any combination for your different drivers. And we recommend you export these runbooks, have a look at the different styles, and pick the one that best suits your business. So there's a small top down, which means the runbook reads from the top downwards. You've got a large top down, which is for larger 8-inch screens and upward. Small usually is for smaller screens, smaller than 8 inches. Then you've got large bottom up, which is also 8-inch plus screens, but it reads from the bottom of the screen in the upward direction. Once you have exported your runbooks, and if optionally you decided to assign your drivers and use the consignment part of the system, you can then print the consignment note. As a side note, it is important to realize and understand that if you want to use the driver consignment section of this screen to work out the allocations for each driver, you must record your daily history. That is, if I go select back to the residential main menu, this record history function down the bottom is what that relies on to produce those figures. If you wish to use that part of or that consignment function, you must record your history for that day before the figures will be calculated. That concludes this how-to video.